Happy Sunday, everyone. Welcome back to Crypto Rosetta. Joe here. Thank you all for tuning in, as always. Now, if you caught yesterday's update, you'll know at the end I mentioned we'll have an AI crypto update. That is what this video is all about. Few charts to look at, so make sure you watch all the way to the end. There may just be one that catches your eye, especially for all you degens out there. We know AI hype is very, very hot right now. We've seen some green candles in the market. The pump is happening right now, but there may just be some gains still to lock in. So let's take a look at it, starting off with AGIX. Now, this is one that I know a lot of people in the Rosetta family are a big fan of, Singularity Net. We've gone to new all-time highs, absolutely fantastic. Now you can see we are currently in the weekly resistance. We've got resistance on the weekly chart here where we are slapping in right now. So there will be a little bit of a pullback on the low time frames. Expect some volatility here, but I think this chart is looking quite strong personally. I don't think there's any real bearish signals here. I'm not looking for triple tops or anything like that at the moment. We've got to see how this chart reacts within this red box, which I've got pretty much at the weekly resistance now. Now, if we can get above this, I think things are looking really bullish. I've got a couple of possibilities here. First of all, the super bullish option on the chart, long term, kind of got a bit of a cup and handle ongoing here. Now, crazy things can happen. We know these markets are, super hype. If the likes of nvidia and other stocks in the AI world, especially in the tech world, Nasdaq looking strong. We'll take a look at nvidia again in a minute. If they can keep running, I think these AI cryptos can absolutely explode. So if that cup and handle plays out, we could start seeing something crazy above $10 here on AGIX. You heard it. However, let's just keep our feet on the ground. Realistic expectations, realistic targets if we are to break out bullish here. So I've got the measured move from the flag. We've got sort of the descending wedge breakup. That should take us roughly into this area between about 237 and 364. 237 will kind of be the one-to-one, and around about 364 hitting that 1.68 target. Now, that is if we get the measured move up there. But also, if we're kind of just being a little bit more conservative on targets, I think this 127, again, is probably going to be a minimum target. That is if we have an Elliott-wave, 5-wave move to the upside here. So if I was building the position now, even if we started to drop, I think there's a fair, decent risk reward here. Of course, none of this is financial advice. You've got to make your own decisions. But I personally think there's a fair risk reward here that you could potentially dollar cost average a position. But do not be surprised if this one moves quickly. If we can close above this, weekly resistance, then I think 127 is the minimum target. However, as I always say, you dollar cost average in, you also look to maybe dollar cost average out. Some people will be looking to probably hold towards that $2 to $3 region, and good luck if it gets there. I really hope it does, and who knows, like I said, if that cup and handle target plays out, then something crazy could happen on AGIX. Now, before we move on, just wanted to mention we've still got CryptComps running, competition 8 and competition 9 at cryptcomps.com. You can win in competition 8 £10,000 worth of any crypto that you want, or competition 9 £1,000 worth of any crypto you want. All the cryptos mentioned in this video you can win. You can win Bitcoin, you can win altcoins, you can even have your prize in stable coins if you just want to sit on them for a rainy day. So that is cryptcomps.com to enter. Go get your tickets, and thank you. You also help supporting the channel if you do so. Now, getting back on the charts, Fetch AI, this is another one. Again, some people prefer Singularity, some people are looking at Fetch. A lot of people are diversifying their positions in these AI cryptos. I think that is a good, wise strategy. As we always say, when you're building these altcoin positions, you never really know which one is going to take off more than another. You see it time and time again, bull market or bear market, lots of these altcoins outperform and some underperform compared to the rest of the market. So Fetch AI, long-term, potential inverse and head and shoulders, looks pretty bullish. No bearish signals, again very similar, and again we can see weekly resistance. That is exactly where we're at now. So again, same as AGIX, looking for this one to get above the red box, and things are looking pretty good from there. Again, I think there's some fair risk reward if you are building a position on Fetch here. So Again, very speculative. I'm not going too seriously into the Elliott-wave here. Again, this is very speculative, but if we do have a 5-wave move to the upside, that you've got to be honest, especially from what I've got marked as, wave 2 here onwards, it's looking pretty impulsive. It's looking pretty strong at the moment. No signs of exhausting. And then potentially, wave 3 target, we could see this one get up to about $3. We're $1.10 at time of recording. Then I would expect, some kind of a pullback, maybe come back into this area, and then off we go again. So fetch looking good. Now, moving on. This one, extremely speculative. This one is a play for you degens out there. Some people may go big on this. Some people may want to just put play money. Again, I just want to stress, a lot of this video is extremely speculative. Nothing is financial advice. And I'm looking at Wellcoin right now. It's high risk because it's a very new coin. As we're seeing a huge AI hype in the market, and a lot of it is being seen in this one. So it's launched, it went sideways for a bit, and now it's starting to, get a bit of a move again. But the point of this that I'm making on the screen here is I just want to show you that forget Elliott waves, forget measurements, forget measured moves for a second. You can just see from a chart perspective here, it can very easily go to multiple X's, or you could very easily lose half your money or even more. So this coin is going to be extremely volatile. We see it time and time again with these micro caps, or it's not a huge micro cap, this one. It's got a decent market cap, but again, with these newer coins, very speculative plays, they can be extremely volatile, and it's very hard to say which way they're going to go. So always, never invest more than you can afford to lose. Again, this may be one that people buy in and then they see it go down and they just buy more and wait and hodl on. It's speculative. But right now, around about $9.20 at time of recording, you can see 2x up to 18.4, 4x up over $36, etc. It wouldn't be crazy to see this one do 10 or 20x. Equally, it wouldn't be crazy to see this one lose 8%. We just know this is high risk, high reward. It can happen. Now, render, moving on. This one, I always like to, reassess coins and, chart ideas that you can get completely wrong. You'll see time and time again, many channels always posting again all their wins. They never post losses. Every time they have an idea that goes wrong, they just forget about it and never talk about it again, and then they just constantly remind you about how they get everything right. We don't do that here at Crypto Rosetta. I certainly don't do that myself personally, and I am very happy to say that I got render completely wrong. As you guys know who've been watching the channel for some time, I was looking for render to kind of play out a head and shoulders and potentially go back down to the lows. That very quickly got invalid, as I mentioned at the time. Once it got invalid, now I'm happy to say that this low area here, there's a high probability. Again, no guarantees in crypto, no guarantees in markets, anything can happen, but there's a high probability that we may never see that price again on render, or certainly not for a long time, especially if it stays in the space, it stays bullish. That could be a bit of a historic low for render, potentially. However, still too early to call. Again, same as AGIX, same as Fetch, you can see we are at weekly resistance. We just hit a new all-time high, very similar to AGIX, but we haven't gone completely blasting through yet. Now, once I realized that the head and shoulders was invalid here, I'll hold my hand up and say I'm not sure why I was sleeping on this, but that was probably a pretty obvious long. And had I looked at this chart again on the weekly time frame all the way back to the start, you could see that this was probably getting gravitated towards that weekly resistance. So that was a missed opportunity on my behalf. Probably slept on that one, and probably should have been looking to jump along on render in that sort of $2.50 to $3 region. Had you got in around about 350, you'd be up about 120% now. So well done to anybody who did manage to get on that trade or buy a spot position on render. But if you are holding render, leave us a comment below. Let us know if you are selling now at weekly resistance, or you think this one is going to blast up to multiple figures. Now, moving on. Want to talk about this one, Estow. As you can see, I've got it on the screen. Still cheap? I think so. Compared to the other charts that we've just looked at, you can see this one is nowhere near the highs, and currently trading time recording at 57 cents. I've been saying a lot in the Discord. If you want to join us in our Discord, it's free. Links in the description below. I've been chatting to members about a few coins, and I've been saying that look for cryptos that are still cheap if you believe we are in the crypto bull market. If you truly believe that the low is in for Ethereum, the low is in for Bitcoin. Yes, a correction may come at some stage. We know Bitcoin's been pretty much up a straight line since around about $25,000. So we know correction's going to come at some stage. But if you are long-term bullish and you believe the lows are in, be looking for these altcoins that still appear cheap. And I think Estow potentially is one of them. Again, not financial advice. Take your own risks. But just take a look at this one. So what can we see? Holding, we've got 3 touches here now, holding strong support. That could be very good support where we eventually break out of the resistance. Now first resistance is going to come on this high from November around about 69 cents. We are getting gravitated towards that at the moment. So if we can break that resistance, I think things are looking pretty good for Estow. Again, you can see, just put the cup in. The tide is potentially turning here, especially if this is a historic low down in January 23. We know this had an explosive move. There was a big 10x pump here. We knew that was going to cool off, and then it dropped. It's been a bit sideways, a bit choppy since, but is this just a potential really good accumulation period here for Estow before the next leg up? Very possible. Again, no guarantees, but I think there is some decent risk reward in Estow. So that is the cryptos that I wanted to look at on the AI coins, but I still think it's important to talk about this. nvidia, again, I know I'm mentioning it in a lot of videos at the minute, but I am doing so because I think it is so important. Where I believe we have to be cautious and still be aware that this AI hype could potentially, I'm not going to say it's definitely going to happen, but could literally pop at any moment. We're seeing this parabolic move on nvidia, again being completely driven by the AI hype. Now I get a little bit worried here when I see a chart like this. We've got a very long-term channel here, and now we are literally above the channel here. Now again, not all charts have to fit in channels, etc., but when you see this long term and you see how high that price is above trend line resistance, it gets a little bit scary for me. I do think that this one is very overbought right now. Now when there's a lot of hype and things get overbought, stocks, cryptos, etc., it doesn't mean that they don't just keep going. But to me, it just means that the risk is, very, very high. Risk is increasing, and I do think gains in percentage terms will be diminishing here. It's all good and well, if you're a hedge fund and you're getting in at $600 nvidia and you're putting hundreds of millions of dollars in, and you're very confident and you've got some inside trading knowledge, etc., and you know that the markets aren't going to crash next week, and then you get in, you scalp, and you make some millions. And I do believe a lot of that is happening, but I do worry for long-term retail investors who are getting in here thinking that this is just going to keep going to the moon, or rather never see prices that we seen literally 2-3 months ago. I think that is a very dangerous mindset, so just be careful. I still think that no matter how high this one goes, it could go to $1,000 potentially, just keep going, could go to 2,000, who knows. Historically, this chart is telling me that we are eventually going to come back into this channel at some stage. And if this goes, say, to $1,000 and we come down to basically the center of this channel, we're looking at around about, if we're coming in anywhere in this area here, $400 to all the way down to $100. I mean, if you're going to say $1,000, you buy in then, and you potentially losing like 80%, 90%, 70%, whatever. You're losing a lot of your bag there in terms of value. But the bigger problem is this is an extremely long-term chart, and you know, where I've got this arrow to here, this would be February, well, this is 2030. Okay, so if you're getting in here, at the top, and then this eventually comes down, guys, you could be potentially underwater for over 5 years. So again, just be aware of the risks. Cisco, very good at, you know, showing this one. I know I've shown this one again, but look, 20 years later, still no all-time high. So who knows if that's going to happen to nvidia? I don't. Nobody does. Just be aware that these things happen in markets. It is very, very possible. Now, if you want to join the membership, of course, we've still got lifetime membership NFTs available for 1800 ADA. You can buy those in installments. Again, join the Discord for free. Check out Get Lifetime Access, or ask one of the team about becoming a member, and we'd love to have you join us on our AMAs that we have weekly. Thanks all for watching. Again, if you enjoyed the content, smash up the like, and I'll see you again.